Greetings, everyone. I'm gonna play you a song just while I wait for people to join in. I'm not sure if going straight live for the first time on YouTube, if it is a good idea for me to do it without scheduling it so people know I'm gonna do it. But I'm one of those people who always likes to just dive in. Oh, I see one person already. Hello. It's my first time doing this, and I can't actually see who it is that's joined, but welcome. Thank you for joining. Um, I'm gonna play one of my favorite tunes because I want to wait for a few more people to join. Hopefully, a few more people will join in. I want to talk about something that happened to me a few days ago. That's played on my mind. So you could say I'm looking for people's situation, views, because I responded in a certain way, and immediately I labeled it fear, and I saw it as a weakness. But 2 days down the line, on reflection, I'm wondering if it was a weakness. And I'm wondering if anything is wrong with being fearful. And so, yeah, it's an incident that happened in a car park at a large 24-hour supermarket called Tesco's. So, yeah, let me put the little song on. What's that little song? It actually means a lot to me. It comforts me. Right, so this incident happened when I was coming from work, and it so happened that it was quite late when I was on my way home from work, and I realized that I didn't have some ingredients that I would have needed to use the next morning, early morning, and I didn't really want to wake up early morning and go back again out there to shop. So I thought, yeah, it's late, but Tesco is open until midnight, so let me pass by and buy my ingredients. But then I was in for a surprise. I hope. So I'm just gonna wait until it's about maybe 5 minutes or so, see if people join in, so you can listen to this tune. Pinamkati, 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 pinamkati. Dinochka. Those that can't speak Shona, Dinochka means I'm afraid. Quiet out, butterfly. We are morning, gonna buy dirty. International, Maruano, life in the do the life yakanaka, life in the bow, I wonder Rambanamo, I wonder Rambanamo, I wonder Rambanamo, and Dinamo, I Dinamo, I wonder Rambanamo, I wonder Rambanamo, any hungry Dinamo, my wonder Rambanamo, I need hungry Dinamo. Anyway, let's get back to this story. So there I was coming from work, really exhausted, tired, and thinking I wanted to have a lie in the next morning, but there's something I wanted to bake and I needed some ingredients. So I was working in what do you call it? Near to the minister. So coming home, I passed through Dudley and there's this big Tesco's which opens quite late. It closes around midnight, I think. So I thought, let me pass through there, buy my ingredients, and then go home. That shop, supermarket, it has a car park that's almost uh, underground, kind of. You drive downish, basement, is that what you call it? Something like that. So it's almost like you're going into the building, but then it's a car park. And then when you go into the shop, you have to go up escalators or use the lift. So anyway, I drive in to the car park, and while I'm looking, it's a massive, massive car park, and that supermarket is massive as well. So I'm looking for somewhere to park. I have a problem with my leg. I had a knee injury. So even though I don't have like a disability badge, whenever I'm parking, I always look for the nearest free parking for me to the shop. So there were a few other shoppers, I think, but there were actually quite a lot of cars. Initially, I thought it was shoppers, but then on looking around, while I'm looking for where to park, I realized there was actually a party going on with these young boys, young men. Really say what ages they were, but I know it was a group of young men, and they're probably young rich men, well, coming from rich families because almost all of them had sports cars. So as I'm driving slowly, looking for parking, most of them jumped into their cars and started driving around the car park, like around me, as if they're racing very fast in the car park. Initially, I just thought excitable young men, excitable boys, and I was thinking, is it safe really to be driving like more than 6 cars at this speed in a car park? But I didn't think much of it. I just was focusing on finding myself a car park, like quickly go into the shop, get what I wanted, and quickly leave. Because it was late, I just needed to get home and sleep. Anyway, the car starts kind of coming close to me, on my left, on my right, behind me, and in front of me. I'm thinking, wait a minute, what's going on here? And the others are still like driving very fast. And I opened my window on the right side, wanting to ask the other person if something was wrong because I felt that he was too close for comfort for me. And as I opened the window, loud music was playing and they were shouting, "Go home, go home, get the hell out of here." They were swearing, like, "Get the fuck out of here," and that kind of thing. Go home. So I didn't expect that, so I quickly closed my window again. And then I just parked. Now I completely forgot about distance and everything. I just slotted myself into the closest parking slot. And I sat there thinking, what's going on? And they continued shouting, "Go home, go home." And some of them came out of their cars and came on, all stood to the sports car that was on my right, the one I wanted to ask if everything was okay. And they swearing at me, and they were drinking, and it wasn't just like beer or these cheap. They had these expensive looking bottles of spirit drinks. I don't actually know that much about alcohol, but when I see them in supermarkets, they are expensive, nice bottles, and they are spirits. So they were drinking that. They were like sharing it out, sharing the bottles around and drinking from the bottle. And I could tell that they were drunk. They're shouting, "Go home, go home, go home, go home." Normally, I don't panic. Normally, I don't easily get afraid. So initially, I just thought, you know what, get your purse, get your phone, completely ignore them. Go into the supermarket, get what you need, come back, completely ignore them, get into your car and drive off. But as I came out of the car and the noise got louder, I'm not too sure why it triggered a memory of something that happened 2008 while I was in Dublin in Ireland. And I just became completely terrified. At that point, I just thought I was just scared. I didn't really reflect on why I had happened in Dublin, and I didn't attach the thought to the fear that I felt then. But I got so scared, and I quickly thought maybe I should ring the police. And I looked around and I could see I was all alone in the car park with this young man. And then I reasoned that if I call the police, even if they were that fast to get to me, like even if they were 3 minutes or 5 minutes, these young men could have done whatever they wanted to do and gone off. They looked like they would have maybe beat me up or something. I don't want to make assumptions, but they were not happy with me being there. And part of my reflections are this lockdown that we've been going through on and off has put a lot of people on edge, especially the young ones, because young people are active, vibrant, and they like to explore and do things out there, and being locked up. So it has actually kind of got to them, and they are on edge. I'm almost 50, and sometimes sitting at home, not able to go where I want to go, really makes me feel like I'm in a hedge. And so you can imagine young people, how they're feeling right now. So anyway, my mind was racing, making all these considerations, getting all these perceptions about what was going on there. And, I had to think on my feet and I had to make the best decision in that state that I was in. And um, as I took my phone and started looking as if to call, and I reasoned that even if I called the police, by the time they got to me, these young men would have done whatever they wanted to do, or they could have harmed me, or they could have thrown bottles at me. They could have, trust me, I've had a lot of things done to me before. So, in relation to the memory that I mentioned in Dublin and Ireland, I was actually chased down the road one time before, being told the same thing: go home, go back where you came from, and that kind of thing. And I actually ended up driving the car into a ditch because I was that scared. Fortunately, those people did not stop when they saw that I had gone in the ditch. They probably got scared or whatever, and they drove past. But they had been shouting, those big roads with four lanes, one on this side, the other on this side, and there's one flashing the light at me behind. And when I opened the window, they were shouting and they were doing the finger thing at me, and big vans that was on my right actually wrote a sticky on a piece of paper saying, go back where you came from, and they were raising at me so that I could see it. Anyway, this is the memories that came in a flash 2 days ago while I was in the car park. So I don't know at the moment. I'm wondering, did I overreact because of my past experience, or could I have actually seriously been in danger if I had made the wrong move? But in the end, I told myself, calling the police right now may be the correct thing to do, maybe the right thing to do, but it may be risky. And the rationale that I made there was that sometimes being right will not save you. Even though I had the right to be where I was and to buy what I wanted, the fact that I was in the right to do it would not have made me safe. And that's what I reasoned. And I decided, I'm not going to go. I'm not even going to go into the shop. It's not safe. I'm going to go back into my car, lock the doors, and start driving slowly and look for a way out and get the hell out of here. But what actually happened is when I pulled my phone out and was looking to make a 999 call, the young men saw this move and they all ran into their cars and drove off. What I think is they thought I was calling the police because they had been drinking and they were not social distancing, they were not wearing masks, they were partying in a place they shouldn't have been partying. I'm quite sure the reasoned are that if we stay here, if she calls the police and we stay here and we get caught, we're gonna be in trouble. So as I'm thinking, go back in the car and keep yourself safe, they're also thinking, get the hell out of here and avoid trouble. So I saw they started running back into their cars. And started raving the engines, like, how sports car are very loud, especially if you're in a contained kind of environment like the car park, which is enclosed, right? Most parts, except for where you enter and where you exit. So yeah, then a lot of them started driving out. A few of them stayed and still were shouting. Um, and then I started driving slowly, looking how do I get out? Because you come in from one side and you go out from the other side. But when I looked, there were like barricades on the side that is supposed to come out of. And so I got a bit confused. What do I do? Maybe it was the combination of the fear factor and the fact that I was alone that made me a bit confused. And so I actually drove around for about another 5 minutes, which felt like a century, looking for a way out. And I managed to come out of the car park, but I was so confused. I actually didn't know whether to go left or right. And I ended up coming, taking a turn that sent me right back into the car park. Anyway, in the end, I managed to come out. I was so terrified. I was sweating. And as I drove, just 2 minutes, I could feel my body was shaking, my legs were shaking, and I decided it's not safe for me to be driving now. So I looked for somewhere to park off the road, somewhere safe, put my hazards on, locked my car from inside, and gave myself about 10 minutes to calm myself down. So now, um, I initially said to myself, you know what, forget about it. You came out safe, and that's all that matters. Carry on with your life. But the reason why I'm doing this video is I want to conscientize people, I want to make people aware of how this whole situation that we're in at the moment has started to affect people or is affecting people, and to have people aware of things that are going on out there. We're not allowed to be out there uh, outside of our bubbles and whatever. But people are sneaky. People are finding ways of getting around that. And I guess if they feel somebody is going to interfere with their plans, they get in aggrieved and are responding in the way that happened in Tesco's car park. I mean, my advice would be don't brave tackling people in the kind of situation that I found myself in 2 days ago. Don't attempt, because you put yourself at risk, especially if you are alone and it's at night. Very few people will be out there when it's night time. And my observation is people who are outside that time of the night will either be people coming from work tired with only focus on getting home like me, or people who are out drinking, enjoying themselves. And I wouldn't put it past some people to be doing drugs as well in that car park. Probably some of them had taken some drugs or whatever, because I seriously couldn't understand why they were bothered about me going in there, parking my car, going into a supermarket, which anybody should be able to, should be allowed to, getting what I want, and then going out. My only thought is that because they knew they were doing something wrong, they were doing it. On, they got defensive. So yeah, this is the story I wanted to share. Somebody was watching. Please, could you let me know who you are and what is your perception of this story? What are your thoughts about what I've said? What would you advise people to do? Um, if they found themselves in a similar situation, what would your advice be? You know what? I'm actually looking here and I'm thinking, are you even hearing me? The person that's joined, that's watching, did you hear me? I didn't even do a sound check because I actually don't know how it works. It's my first time doing a live video on YouTube, and I've been putting it off because I don't know how to do it. And today I figured you can't put it off forever. I'm passionate about communities. I'm passionate about positive communities. The videos that I share on here, I have a community platform, integration hub, and it's all about integrating communities, integrating people. When I talk about communities, I'm actually not just talking about areas. I'm actually not just talking about a group of people or families. I'm talking about the different types of communities that we find in our society. Examples are community. You could have a community of Christians, you could have community of black people, you could have community of white people, you could have communities of disabled people, you could have communities of nurses, carers, doctors. You could have communities of all sorts of groups of people. My belief is a community is where people have something in common. And my passion when I talk about community is humanity. We are all human beings. We all created with same parts. I mean, except for maybe differences in gender, we all created with five senses. We all created with blood that flows in our bodies and with feelings. That makes those are the things that we have in common as humanity. And with me, when I'm talking about communities, that is specifically what I'm talking about. Why I started Community Integration Hub was I wanted to encourage people to start integrating instead of um, there's a lot of marginalization, there's a lot of division, there's a lot of segregation, some of it intentional, some of it not, but there's a lot of it. We were created in love with each other. We were created in love. We created with love for one another until we started being overly analytical of things, color, gender, age, um, status, creed, beliefs, religion, things like that, cultures, traditions, and those things, when we started overly focusing on them, the division started. And I think it's a shame because a lot of good can come out of us if we just go back to the drawing board and start seeing each other as we should see each other, as God intended us to see each other. Just be happy to be here. Be happy to have what we have. Be happy to have the skills, the talents, the blessings that we have, and share them. A lot of people say sharing is caring, but there are a lot of vital things that we should be sharing that we never really share because of these beliefs, these myths, and all these competitive attitudes that we have. There's nothing wrong with being competitive as long as it doesn't lead you to hate, envy, or act irrationally. And so that's my passion. That's why I started Community Integration Hub. And that's why you find I interview people about different topics. I talk about different topics, expressing my own views, and I always invite people to share their own views about things. And today, I'm inviting you to comment, to share your views about my experience 2 days ago. What are your thoughts about it? What would you have done if you had been in my shoes? Do you think it was a bit wimpy of me to get scared, to get terrified? Um, and do you think I was right to just not make noise about it and just remove myself from it? Or do you think I should have done something more? I have a little feeling that maybe I could have done more. Maybe I could have called the police while I was sitting in the car, but it's not going to trouble me because I made the decision that I felt was suitable and rational in the state that I was in at that point in time. And I guess that's the important thing, really. Whenever you're responding to something, make sure your response is the best possible in your books, in your capacity, because you know yourself better than anybody else. You know what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. So, yeah, maybe I could have done things differently. I didn't. I don't regret it. But what I'm doing maybe is to increase the positivity of what I did is sharing the story here and have people start to think about these things. To those young men, I would say, I know it's not easy. I know that lockdowns is really playing on our minds, on our mental health, and all that. But try your best to remain rational. Try your best to remain safe. Try your best to keep other people safe. If you're gonna go out there, wear the mask, maintain the social distance that has been advised. Don't party where you're not supposed to be partying. And respect the numbers that have been advised. We're saying 6 people in a group, and it was about 20, maybe even more. I didn't actually, I was so scared I didn't really do the analysis of numbers, but I would say there was more than 20 people there. And some that I've been wondering about is big supermarkets like that are supposed to have, what do you call it, CCTV cameras. Were they not seeing what was happening there? Why were they not stopping it? Anyway, that was my story. I'm gonna share this on my social media platforms. Anyone with comments, more than welcome to. We are here for each other. We are here to help each other, to advise each other, to encourage each other. And so, yeah, I welcome comments on here. I welcome comments on all the other platforms that I'm going to share this video, my Facebook, my Instagram. I hope I can download this video and share it there, or I'll actually just share a link. Yeah, COVID-19 has exposed us to all sorts. I normally like to talk about positive things, and there's a lot of positive stuff that has come out of 19 experience for me, because 3 years before COVID-19, I was in a situation, a very rough situation. When COVID came, I braved taking action on the things that I had been too scared to take action on. And here I am able to speak. Here I am able to stand and advocate for others. Here I am able to coach. Yeah, I actually managed to get myself certified as an NLP practitioner, as a life coach, as a timeline therapist, and as a craft therapist. And I'm also a mental health nurse. So, anyone who needs help, don't hesitate to link up with me. I don't claim to know everything. I don't claim to be able to do everything, but I can promise you I will listen. I can promise you I'll air my own views. I can promise you I'll signpost if it's something that I feel is out of my capacity, it's out of my speciality, it's out of my capabilities. I will signpost you. There are all sorts of organizations, groups, individuals who have experience and qualifications to handle different areas of struggles with people. We are all struggling with a lot of things because of COVID-19. That's in addition to maybe the struggles that we may already have been struggling with before COVID-19. As I said to you, I had spent 3 years in and out of hospital before COVID-19. So COVID-19 caught me at a very vulnerable state. But when I decided to fight for my safety from COVID-19, I learned the power in me, just how capable I am to fight for the things that matter to me. And so I became brave, and I went into my bucket list and started tackling things that I'd only imagined to be dreams, that I never imagined I could achieve. And I started ticking them off. I'm still at it, and I'm encouraging everybody to do the same. start with the smallest tasks in your bucket list, the seemingly easiest, and you will find most of them actually are interlinked. And as you go, they will start to connect. They will start to direct you as to which step to take next and which one to leave for later. Love you guys. I'm gonna end it here. The one person that was watching, thank you very much. I will appreciate some feedback from you. Um, and hopefully you can share as well this video. I'm gonna share. I just need people to be aware of what's going on out there. Hopefully nobody thinks that I'm seeking pity and not that kind of person. But there's nothing wrong with people feeling sorry for somebody who's had a bad experience. I could have done this video yesterday, but I was still in a scared state, I guess. And today I feel much better about myself and about my safety. Take care. Have a lovely day. Bye. By the way, I know I'm doing this on my community interest hub. My name is Fariside Moi. I'm a mental health nurse. I'm a life coach. I'm certified NLP practitioner. I'm a public speaker and I'm an advocate in my community. Health champion. I'm a health champion in my community. I'm local community journalist as well. So yeah, you will see videos where I talk about different things. It's about bringing society to attention, something that many people don't talk about. I'm waffling now, but I'm gonna go. Take it. I would love the song that I played before I got started. Again, bye. Yeah, so if I was sharing, I could have shared this. All right. Okay, copy. Questions, no longer live. Yes, thank you. Bye.